Okay, let's unpack this today. We're diving into a source stack that's, well, it's quite different, isn't it? We're drawing insights from Creating Moments of Joy Along Alzheimer's by Jolene Brackey.
Yeah, it really is different. It's less about the clinical side sometimes, and much more focused on, well, on finding that light, that connection, moment by moment.
Exactly, in the world of Alzheimer's and dementia. So our mission really is to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from these pages, kind of a shortcut for you to get informed about navigating this.
And it's not just about the challenges, which are huge, obviously, but it's about actively seeking and creating those moments of joy.
Right. And the source itself, it's got this unique blend, practical wisdom, these really personal stories, and just a deeply compassionate way of looking at things.
That's like a guide to shifting your perspective, really. Understanding the person with dementia differently, finding ways to connect.
Yeah, finding that light. There's that story right near the start, isn't there, about Bob and the fly fishing?
Oh, yeah, that's a perfect example. Loved fly fishing his whole life. His wife obviously couldn't take him to a river anymore,
Right.
but she just brought him his old fishing pole.
Ugh.
And, for a few minutes, he was just there casting in the living room or wherever.
A moment of pure joy, just from the pole.
Exactly. And it highlights that core idea the book keeps coming back to. With short-term memory loss, life becomes a series of moments.
No perfect days, but perfectly wonderful moments. That's the phrase she uses.
Precisely. And the key thing, the real insight that drives this whole approach,
Mhm.
is that while the memory of what just happened might fade maybe in 5 minutes, it's gone dre. The feeling of that moment, that stays.
Ah, okay, so that positive feeling, that's the fuel. That's what you work with.
That's the fuel. Yeah. It's how you can create joy even when the memory itself doesn't stick.
And the book's structure even reflects that, doesn't it? It's organized around different kinds of moments.
Right. Defining moments, family moments, challenging, transitioning.
Hmm.
It keeps pulling you back to think in terms of these individual moments.
Okay, so if life is lived in moments, how do we actually, connect with someone in those moments? The book talks a lot about understanding their reality, their truth.
Absolutely crucial. The material is full of stories showing how someone might really believe they're living in a different time, maybe looking for people from their past.
Like, if someone's always asking for their mom, they might genuinely feel like a teenager again in that moment.
Exactly. Or if they don't recognize their husband, but they keep asking where he is, maybe in their mind they're back in their 20s or 30s, before they maybe even look the way they do now.
And the advice here is really strong. Don't correct them.
Don't correct them. It's hammered home.
Hmm.
The goal isn't to drag them into our reality, which, let's face it, can be confusing and upsetting for them.
Right.
It's about helping them feel okay, helping them feel safe in this moment with whatever reality they're experiencing.
So instead of saying, your mom passed away years ago, you might say something like,
Like, oh, your mom will be right back. Or she's just in the kitchen. Something reassuring for that moment, rather than stating a fact that might make them want to leave and go find her.
that makes a lot of sense. It's about the emotion, not the fact. Like that story about the caregiver walking and singing hymns with the lady who was upset about missing funerals.
Yes, just entering her reality, providing comfort right there, finding that shared peace.
Or even just, going along with who they think you are in that moment. Daughter as wife, sister as mom. It sounds like connection trumps factual accuracy every time.
It really does. Comfort over correction.
Okay, this is where things get really, really practical and interesting. The book offers loads of specific strategies for difficult situations, moving beyond just arguing.
Yeah, this section is gold for caregivers. And maybe the biggest one, the hardest one, is just stop correcting them.
It sounds simple, but it's not easy, is it? The source gives these examples like, imagine someone telling you your purse isn't yours.
Right. Or your sweater, when you know it is. Or telling you that you don't live where you think you live. It's incredibly disorienting. It causes panic.
So the advice is basically, let go of needing to be right. Ask yourself, is this wrong story actually hurting anyone?
Exactly. If it's not causing harm, just listen. Accept their reality for that moment. It's far kinder and, frankly, more effective than a correction they won't remember 5 minutes later, but which leaves them feeling agitated.
Yeah, the agitation sticks around. Okay, what about this other tactic? Blaming things on someone else.
Ah, yeah, this one's clever. Blame the bad stuff, the reason they can't go out, or why something isn't available on an external factor. Insurance won't allow it, the boss said no, the weather's bad, some distant cousin messed up.
So it positions you as being on their side.
Precisely. You're a team. facing this external problem together. You're not the one saying no. You're not the source of the frustration.
That's smart. And what if they directly accuse you of something?
The advice is almost disarmingly simple. Just say, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, even if you did nothing wrong.
Yep. As the author says, it's hard to fight with someone who is sorry. It just diffuses the whole situation instantly. Takes the wind out of the sails of the argument.
Okay. Wow. Let's talk about some of those really tough practical issues. Driving, for instance. Or guns. The book advises against just taking them away.
Right. Because, well, first, it causes massive anger and resentment. And second, because of the short-term memory loss, they might forget you took the car keys or sold the car. So you end up having the same fight over and over again.
So what's the alternative?
Disable them. Make them unusable without being obvious about it. The book mentions a really tragic story of a dad shooting his son because he didn't recognize him. Disabling the item, the car so it won't start, the gun so it can't fire, lets them keep that sense of ownership, that familiar object, without the actual danger.
Okay, that's a really important distinction. What about lost items? That must drive caregivers crazy. Hiding things, misplacing things.
Oh, constantly. And the source says, basically, don't waste your precious energy turning the house upside down searching every single time.
Yeah.
Have spares, lots of spares. Get 10 sweaters, get 10 purses, is the direct quote, I think. Something goes missing. You use that blame something else tactic, maybe, and voila, here's another one just like it. Reduces so much stress.
Okay, spares. Got it. What about things like glasses, dentures, hearing aids, things they need but might constantly take out?
The suggestion is, if they keep taking them out, it probably means they're uncomfortable, or maybe they just don't understand what they are anymore.
Right.
And the stress of constantly trying to find them, clean them, put them back in and replace them if they get lost or broken, sometimes that outweighs the actual benefit they're getting, especially if they can't tolerate them.
But if they do wear their glasses?
Then just keeping them clean is mentioned as a really simple instant win. Suddenly they can see better. And for hearing aids, if someone has hearing loss, yelling doesn't actually help. Showing them, using gestures, writing things down, that's often much more effective.
Makes sense. Okay, managing the environment. Stimuli. TV comes in for some strong criticism in the source.
Very strong. Especially the news or anything violent or fast-paced. Because for the person with dementia, that stuff often feels incredibly real, like it's happening right there in the room.
Which must be terrifying and confusing.
Hugely. They can't easily process it or dismiss it. So the recommendation is radios, maybe specific, familiar old TV shows, Lawrence Welk has mentioned, old westerns, baseball games, or just music. Headphones can also be great for filtering out noise in a busy place.
And hallucinations, another really tricky one.
Again, the advice is counterintuitive. Don't argue. Don't say there's nothing there.
So you respond as if it is real.
Yes. Validate their experience in the moment. The example given is walking Pearl outside when she said she saw fire in the room. Take action based on their reality. Then you can also quietly check for triggers, medication side effects, reflections, busy patterns on fabrics, weird noises, things that might be causing the perception.
Right. Investigate the cause, but address the feeling first. What about preventing wandering or going into other people's rooms, maybe in a care facility?
Some really creative visual tricks are suggested. Basically, make doors not look like doors.
How?
Paint exit doors the same color as the walls so they blend in. Cover the elevator buttons. Use murals or wallpaper like one that looks like a bookshelf to disguise a door completely. It works because it plays on their perception.
Simple, but probably very effective. And finally, under these challenging moments, just keeping people engaged. Routine.
Yes, routine and structure are calming. Keeping busy calms the mind. But the key is simple, single-step tasks. Tearing lettuce, wiping placemats, folding towels.
Things they can succeed at.
Exactly. And tapping into past interests. Getting to the good stuff, the author calls it. Maybe sorting hookless fishing lures for the guy who loved fishing. Practicing casting into a bucket. Looking at old fishing photos, you get the connection, the reminiscing, the joy, without the frustration of the full, complex activity they can no longer manage.
There's that example list in the book, too, isn't there? Emily's favorite things. Really specific, personalized triggers for joy.
Yeah, it shows how tailored it needs to be.
Maybe.
It's all about knowing that individual.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. The sources are also really clear about the impact on the caregiver. It's immense.
Oh, absolutely. That phrase, I can't leave him, it just captures how the caregiver's own world can shrink down to almost nothing but the care duties.
And caregivers listening right now, you probably know this feeling. Denial from others.
Mm.
People popping in for a quick visit or calling on the phone and saying,
Oh, they look great, or they sounded fine to me.
right. And the book explains why that happens. People with dementia can often rally for short periods, put on a good face, mask the confusion.
Which leaves the primary caregiver feeling completely unseen, unsupported, maybe even resentful, because they live the 2004-7 reality, which is nothing like that brief snapshot.
So inevitably, the conversation turns to caregiver self-care, which the source emphasizes is absolutely non-negotiable.
Not just important, essential. Finding what actually works for you to relieve stress.
Mhm.
Maybe it's walking, maybe it's a nap, a hobby, just quiet time alone. And crucially, avoiding situations or people that just drain you.
Yeah, the advice is pretty blunt there, isn't it? If someone calls just to complain or give unwanted
Her
advice.
book literally suggests saying, I have to use the bathroom, and just hanging up. You don't have the bandwidth. Your energy has to be preserved for the person you're caring for and for yourself.
And that line, the caregiver is the only one who can give themselves permission to take time off. No one else is going to force you to do it.
So true. And that idea of being your own best friend. Take the advice you'd give a friend in your shoes. If you tell your friend, you need a break, you need help, then you need a break, you need help.
Such a good point. The book also tackles the really difficult decision about moving someone to a care community.
Yeah, with a lot of compassion. It often happens at a crisis point, doesn't it? When the caregiver physically or emotionally just can't do it anymore, often they get sick themselves.
And the advice is to prepare early, even if it feels too soon.
Yes, and to think about the reason you give the person for the move. Instead of saying, I can't care for you anymore, which sounds like rejection.
Find a reason they might understand or accept, like the house needs major repairs.
Exactly. Roof repair, frozen pipes, bug infestation, something external that necessitates a temporary move, which then becomes permanent. It's presented as much less threatening or personal.
And when choosing a place, it's not about the fancy lobby, is it?
Not at all. It's about a lived-in home feel, sure, but mostly it's about the people, the staff. Are they kind? Do they smile? Are they attentive? Do they seem to actually understand Alzheimer's and take the time to know the residents, their histories, their preferences?
That human connection is everything. There's that story from the CNA in the book talking about the love she feels from the residents.
Yeah, that tells you a lot about the culture of a place.
The sources also bring up financial planning, which is vital.
Absolutely. People over 65 are sadly very vulnerable to financial abuse. Appointing a trusted power of attorney and doing it early while the person still has capacity is critical. The story of Helen and the bank trust department is a real warning.
So planning ahead, identifying who's responsible, knowing what the assets are, setting clear goals to keep things safe, practical, necessary steps.
Definitely protects their security down the line.
Okay, so bringing it all together, this is ultimately about finding ways to connect, right? To create those joyful moments within this different reality.
Yeah, and the quality of the interaction matters more than the quantity of time. Short, positive interactions can be really powerful.
Visits don't always need words then.
Not at all. Bringing something simple for the senses, fresh strawberries to taste and smell, familiar photos, putting on their favorite music, or just sitting quietly, holding a hand, being present. That feeling of connection is the goal.
Touch comes up a lot.
Is incredibly powerful. It communicates value, comfort, connection, especially when words fail. A gentle touch on the arm, holding a hand. It's fundamental. It can also help visiting family who might feel awkward. It models a way to connect.
And music. You mentioned music. It sounds like it's almost magical.
It really can be. It seems to tap into a different part of the brain. It can bring back memories, change a mood instantly, even when someone is largely nonverbal. That steady beat is inherently calming. The book even mentions group drumming creates connection without needing conversation.
Understanding their greatness, too. Their past life, their identity.
Yes, acknowledging who they were and still are inside. Hanging diplomas for the former doctor. Leaving books by the bedside for the lifelong reader. It validates them.
And using those specific personal cues, magic words.
Right. Tailored to the individual, I'll take care of it, might be deeply reassuring to someone who is always in charge. You're pretty special. Or, hello, handsome. Finding those phrases that bring a smile or a sense of safety.
That example of putting familiar things back in a man's pockets is so specific and insightful.
Isn't it? The keys, the wallet, the pocket knife, the handkerchief. It's not about using them. It's the familiar weight, the shape, the feel in the pocket. It's a lifetime of security tied up in those objects.
Yeah, the source notes trying to take away a pocket knife from a man who's carried one since he was 8 is likely to get you cut, not him. It's about respecting that deep-seated need for the familiar.
Exactly. It's about security.
Towards the end, the sources also touch on spiritual strength.
Yeah, an acknowledgement that some parts of this journey,
Mm.
they just require something beyond physical and mental endurance. A need to find grace, hope, a way to simply endure.
And then there's this really profound idea that people with Alzheimer's can actually teach us how to live.
It's a powerful reframe, isn't it? Because they lose that short-term recall, they're often forced to live purely in the present moment, in the now.
And they kind of demand that we meet them there.
They do, which gives us, the caregivers, the family, and an opportunity really to practice being present ourselves, to stop ruminating on the past or endlessly worrying about the future, which, as the book says so starkly.
Wanting something other than what is right now is the sheer definition of suffering. Wow.
Yeah. And the idea that they can be a mirror too, reflecting back our own stress, our own anxiety. If they're agitated, maybe, just maybe, it's partly a reaction to our internal state.
That's something to think about.
And the overall message seems to be one of gentleness. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with them. Let go of the shoulds. Forgive mistakes, yours and theirs. Recognize that each moment is new. You get a lot of do-overs in this journey.
So, wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway from this deep dive? It feels like a significant perspective shift.
I think it is. Moving away from seeing Alzheimer's only as this landscape of difficulty and loss, and shifting towards the opportunities. Opportunities for connection, for finding joy, for understanding the person who is still there underneath the disease.
It's about embracing those moments, living in their truth, using these creative, compassionate strategies.
And taking relentless, unapologetic care of yourself in the process. And maybe most importantly, being open to learning from the person you're caring for.
Yeah. Focusing on feelings over facts, compassion over correction, being present instead of stuck in the past or future.
It offers real tools, but also, I think, a path to a deeper, maybe unexpected kind of connection.
We've covered a lot: practical tips, emotional insights, and some really profound lessons.
We have. It's rich material.
So here's that final thought for you to take away directly from the source material we've been exploring. Wanting something other than what is right now is the sheer definition of suffering. What might you discover, maybe just for today, if you could let go of expectations and just be present in the moment?
And maybe one more reflection, prompted by the book. Try finishing this sentence for yourself, and perhaps think about it for the person you care for too. I feel loved when I